Oh my god. Ken, you're right. I'm sorry. I was muted. Professionalism at its height. This is why you don't have to subscribe to this stream. Like, you don't pay money for this stream because you get this level of professionalism. Anyway, hi everybody. I'm really sorry. I'm here with Tommy. The entire Grey Knights Codex leaked, all of it, as far as I can tell, except for the lore parts, which, like, we're competitive gamers. We're not gonna read that. Um, anyway, if you probably know it, you've seen it, but I'm here to talk about it with Tommy, who's a way better player than I am. Tommy, how you doing? How you feeling?
Feeling good. I'm excited for the release. I think there's some cool stuff in here, and seems like whoever was like had sent out those text messages or whatever they were that were floating around the internet were, vindicated. They seem to be
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, um,
Everything I heard is right.
yeah. I mean, just seems like it's going to be an interesting book, and can't wait to get my hands on it.
Yeah.
So.
So, real quick synopsis. We have 5 detachments. How many do you think are looking good, and how many do you think are looking spicy?
Um, so I think there's two that are spicy.
Okay.
I or I think one is like pretty straightforward in terms of like this is good stuff. Like the vehicle one, I mean, Dread Knights were already good. Your whole, you know, cadre of 6 Dread Knights advancing, shooting, and charging flat 14 every time is
Pretty
it's
good.
gonna be good.
Yeah.
As someone
Yeah.
who's played a lot of War Dogs recently, like 14-inch move is boy, is it a hell of a drug. So,
Hell of a drug.
um, yeah, no, I think it's that one's definitely going to be good. Um, that will probably be the first one to see a lot of competitive play, I think, because
Yeah.
the list basically writes itself. It's you windmill slam 5 to 6 Dread Knights in there, and then fill the rest
Yeah.
out.
Some strikes for scoring and maybe 1 or 2 Land Raider redeemers just to be annoying.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get more into it, but like being able to send a Dread Knight through a wall
Or
on
a Land
either
Raider redeemer.
yeah, on either the you know, movement or charge phase, because charge phase is also in that stratagem. So like it's gonna be good. So
Sweet. You
get
want
your
to
baby
just
carriers out.
Yeah, get your baby carriers out. Not like they haven't been out all edition. But you want
Yep.
to just get into the 2 good detachments first, you think?
Yeah,
Since
sir.
we
And
were
then
already talking about Santic Spearhead, I think we can just go right to it.
yep.
Um, so the detachment rule, Mailed Fist. Each time a Green Knight vehicle from your army advances, do not make an advance roll. It auto advances 6. And then your range weapons equipped by models in that unit have assault. So Razorbacks can advance and shoot. Uh, like your Dread Knights can obviously advance their full speed and shoot. Um, Land Raiders of every type can advance and shoot. This even includes, I mean, any vehicles. So even our flyers. I still don't think flyers are necessarily good, but like if you want to tilt someone, you could bring 3 Storm Reavens, I guess. Uh,
You can go
so
through walls now.
yeah, there you go. They go through walls now. So I mean, that's just good, right? Like
Yeah.
you get your big units that have big guns on them where they need to be, and they can always shoot. Uh,
Yep.
and it makes it so you're never wondering like, oh, I really need a 4 for this advance. It's like, no, you don't need. You just go 6, brother.
You just
So
you just go there. And I think like uh, Grey Knights has a lot of mobility and they move fast, from a repositioning standpoint, but moving that can be a relatively slow army. Like you got foot slogging, infantry that mostly all moves had traditionally all move 6 or 5 if you're Terminators, and Dread Knights are moving 8. And it can be slower than you think, right?
Yeah.
And so this gets around that pretty considerably, and it looks. I mean, it's been good in every detachment they put it in, right?
Yeah.
Bringers of Flame, Sisters, Star Shatter. Um, it's just always someone can make a competitive list out of it. So
Yeah.
I think this is going to be one of those tournament staples that we'll see a lot of people lean into. I think it's probably going to have some of the similar downsides of those same vehicle detachments where I think there's not a ton of skill expression in it. Like it's very straightforward and good in what it does, but I think if you get into a pinch, I think it might struggle, right? But it does bring a lot of power to bear.
Yeah.
Um, so
I know lots of folks have been thinking like, 5, 6 Dread Knights, a Land Raider Redeemer, or whatever. My Warpbane Task Force list that I was actually doing really well with right before I kind of went into Codex Limbo had 4 Razorbacks and a Rhino in it, and some Dread Knights, and like I think you could take that list and just, assuming points fit, obviously, just turn it into Santic Spearhead, and you still have a hell of a list. So
yeah, and I think there's some interesting things you can do with like Sigil of Exigence, since that's for some reason buried in this detachment. It's everybody's favorite.
and it got buffed.
Yeah, everybody's
It
favorite
got
trick your
buffed.
friend.
Um,
Yeah. How
yeah.
did
In
in
fact, it needs to get nerfed now that I'm reading it again. There's no way they intended it to be. All right, we'll just get into that. So
Yeah, let's just get into it.
one of the enhancements in this detachment is our good friend Sigil of Exigence. We've all had it in the index for the last several years. It's been changed though. It says Grey Knight's model only. It doesn't say it has to have Deep Strike, nothing like that. It just says Grey Knight's model. When you're targeted, when you're selected as a target of a ranged attack, you remove the barrels unit from the battlefield and then set it up again anywhere in the battlefield that is more than 9 inches horizontally away. That means you could put this on. Well, I guess it has to be a character, right?
It'll be character.
Yeah, yeah,
So
okay.
you can though
So you
if you could
can't
put
stick
it
it on a Land Raider.
if you put it on the Land Raider though, that I mean now we're gaming.
Yeah. No, it's still an enhancement, so it has to go on a character. The Vendread datasheet changed. It now has the character keyword, so you could stick it on him. I wouldn't, but you could.
And that's yeah. It
Yeah.
probably is better just on a Nemesis Dread Knight.
I was
If
gonna
you're
say, like, you're gonna stick it on a
throwing
Grandmaster Dread
something
Knight.
and
Yeah.
killing. But
So, I mean, like, Sigil is good. We've been using it for years to keep our Grandmaster Dread Knights alive while they actually get into position to do the thing that they need to do because they didn't have the maneuverability of the normal Dread Knights. Now they'll have some of the maneuverability, at least into shooting. They won't be able to charge. Yeah. But anyway, the other enhancements you want to do driven by duty?
yeah, duty.
Duty.
Yeah, so this is Grey Knight's Walker model only. Each time a bearer unit pile-ins or consolidates, that bearer can move up to 6 inches instead of 3. This is really good. Like it's uh, in my Codex waiting room experimentation, I picked up World Eaters, and man, 6-inch pile-in and consolidate allows you to do some really disgusting things. Like, case in point, like I had a game where I was playing against Votan and they parked a couple of Sagittar near each other. and they were sort of in near the midboard, and they were 6 inches apart essentially, and I just double charged it. Um, Double charged the Sagittar in the front, killed it with the first squad, piled in 6, killed the next Sagittar, and then consolidated into a unit of Pioneers that was in the person's deployment zone because it just moved 12 inches in the fight phase.
Yeah.
And like it just it it seems like it's not that much, but like it allows you to do some really gross things.
Yeah.
So,
So it looks like it's only 10 points too. Like especially if you're, at least as it's
that
written right now in the Codex. We all know that when these codexes hit, we're usually immediately hit with a points adjustment. We don't know what that's going to look like. I can only go off of what points are in the Codex. But right now it's 10 points. So I mean, like lots of Grey Knight lists. You're like, I'm at like 180 or like 1985. I guess I'll put an enhancement on a character. So, like, this is that one, right? But yeah, that's in 9th edition when I was playing Death Watch. I used to be able to get 6-inch pile-ins and consolidates with like my big kill teams, and that was pretty incredible to be able to do that. So I can see how that's very strong. Quickening foci. Grey Knight's infantry only in your movement phase each time the bearer's unit disembarks from a transport. Until the end of the turn, you can reroll charges made for that unit. So spicy with the Land Raider. Especially one that could go through walls.
Yeah. This one seems fine. It's like, you've got Sigil of Exigence. I think Driven by Duty it's good. It's for 10 points, it's really good. This one I'm like, I mean, if you're jamming up with a Land Raider that moves 12, disembarking 3, like hopefully I don't know. It's just there's not many situations where I think this would be super helpful, aside from maybe you've got um, like dudes jumping out of a rhino with like a brother cat or like a brother champion or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to think about this one a bit more, but this one doesn't jump out as me as like super good.
You want to do Spiritus Mechania or Machina?
Yeah. Spiritus Macarena. Grey Knights, infantry model only in your shooting phase. Each time the bearer's unit is selected to shoot, if the bearer's unit has disembarked from a transport until the end of the phase, each time model in that bearer's unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the wound roll.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Pretty good on. It could be pretty good on some like a purgation squad with incinerators. That
25
seems good.
points.
Not quite so good
Yeah,
at
not
that
great at
price point.
25 points. Yeah, if this
If
was
that's
like
what the points say.
15,
Oh man, I
10,
don't know if I'd pay more than I don't know, maybe 10
Yeah.
for this.
All right, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
So the first stratagem is True Silver Will, which is just after any Grey Knight Psyker vehicle from your army suffers a mortal wound. So this would basically just be your Vendreads and your Dread Knights. Until the end of the phase, you can choose to have a 4-up Feel No Pain to all mortal wounds for 1 CP. Not bad. When you need it, you're going to need it, and when you don't have it, you're going to feel bad that you don't have it. So,
one of the things that's interesting to point out with this is like it's after they take a mortal wound, and so you can see like wait for your opponent to, like if they do grenades, you can wait to see how many mortal wounds they did to you and be like, yeah, I think I'll do the 4 Feel No Pain now. Like if they roll one mortal wound on their grenade strat, like you just kind of let it slide. But if you see they rolled all 6, then you can actually use this reactively. So
That is a good point. That's so like you can see if they whiff like one mortal and you're like, I don't care.
Yep.
But if they hit you for 6, you might want to think about actually using it.
Yep.
All right. Next. It's on you, Tommy.
It's on me. We're going down on the left-hand column, or
You lead, brother.
sure. All right.
I'll
Abominus
adjust.
class. Abominus class targets. In your shooting phase or your fight phase, one Grey Knight's unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. Each until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit targets a monster vehicle, add 1 to the wound roll. This is just really good, and it's not locked to vehicles. So you could potentially have like your, squad of Terminators that was jamming along in that Land Raider jump out and be +1 to wound into monsters and vehicles. Like on Paladins, that actually
That's
turns that
real
into a
good.
terrifying unit because it's like now they're +1 to wound. If you got a brother captain with them, they've got lethal hits, and so like that turns those nemesis weapons into really punchy thing. So also makes side cannons pretty good against vehicles, like that they might not be super great at cracking. Like I know for me, I've had tons of instances where I leave a rhino on like, one more failed save and they would have died, and this helps you crack those transports that you normally would be struggling into. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. Armored Aegis. In your command phase, you can target 1 Grey Knight psychic vehicle. So great. Again, it's good. It's your Vendread or your Dread Knights, and they can regain up to 3 lost wounds. That's it. Like no rolling. You just regen 3. This is really good for like when you know you have to make a play and you were bracketed. You can like heal over being bracketed, so you no longer -1 to hit. This isn't like a stellar. If it was D3 +3, it would be stellar. But it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a nice tool in your toolbox. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to double check with the like wording on like battle shock tests, like when you actually check the hit points of this. But this could be like like my Dread Knight is at 4 wounds. I use this, and now I don't have to take a battle shock test.
That's
Could
a
be
good
kind of
point
nice.
too. Especially into like Chaos Knights and stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
So
It's on you.
redoubled assault. Your movement phase just after a Grey Knight's vehicle falls back. That Grey Knight vehicle can, until the end of the turn, you are eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which you fell back. Fall back, shoot, and charge on a vehicle. Pretty good. Nice because it's not just limited to walkers, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can fall back your Land Raiders and start shooting the God Hammers back in. Pretty good.
Yep.
You're probably going to use this on your Dread Knights most of the time, but
Yep.
having that ability to not just have your rhinos be stuck is nice.
Yeah.
So
the first thing I think of is like, once you got your Grandmaster finally stuck in, you want it to be like getting maximum value. So if you didn't kill that thing that he charged, on your last turn, you can fall back, shoot it, hopefully charge like something else. You still get your full rerolls after you charge. You can, even use this for free with your Grandmaster Dread Knight. Like this like synergizes really well with the Grandmaster Dread Knight. So, Force Wave, Star Wars. In your movement phase or your charge phase, 1 Grey Knight's vehicle from your army that has not been selected to move or charge can go through walls. Until the end of the phase, each time they do a normal, advance, or charge, it can move horizontally. So, like, you could, on your Grandmaster Dread Knight, you Rapid Ingress him last turn, you can crash through a wall in your movement turn this turn, and then you can crash through a wall in your charge phase the same turn. So you could just Kool-Aid man your way across the whole board with your Grandmaster Dread Knight, assuming you have the CP or the CP regen or whatever.
One thing
But
that's really fascinating about this is they didn't learn their lessons from Knights of Shade. So one thing you can do with this is it doesn't specify when in your charge phase that this actually happens. So you can roll, like, say you have a long bomb charge, like a 7 or 8 inch charge going around a wall to go touch something. You can roll the dice to see what you actually got, and if you needed the go through the wall strat, you just say, all right, like, I'm going to use Force Wave now because you rolled a 6, which
it's
is a
not at the
good enough.
start of.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
it's not at the start of the charge phase. So,
Huh. Well, that
tips.
answers damned questions, Legion. Have we started to find typos in the Codex yet? I'm not quite
I
sure
don't
that's
know.
what they meant by typos, but
I think they there's a typo on the enhancement quickening foci or whatever that is. It's like they got halfway through spelling out quickening focus,
oh
and
no, foci is a word. Yeah, I think
I know,
it's like focus, but plural, right? But,
yeah,
yeah. Anyway,
something.
Argent Wrath, go on. It's your
Your
turn,
charge
sir.
phase just after a Grey Knight's vehicle in your army ends a charge move. Target that Grey Knight's vehicle. The enemy must each enemy within 3 inches of your unit must take a battle shock, subtracting 1 from the test. Seems neat. I think there's some applications here in terms of fight control that you might not necessarily like be
Mm-hmm.
apparent on the first read of this
Yeah.
because like having the ability to do area of effect battle shocks at -1 is actually pretty huge because like, oh, this combat unit that I was worried about that like could fight on death, like knights, um, you can go
Black
in.
Company.
Yeah, I mean it's like you know, this seems like a solid stratagem that you could use to control combat and actually like maybe flip an objective if you needed to do storm hostile or something like that.
Or
Like
even
send
just
a right,
stop scoring entirely.
yeah,
You know?
send a rhino at an objective. You run the rhino into some idiots. They battle shock. You win, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Like you see a lot of jackals holding backfield objectives. Their leadership is terrible.
yep.
Like you get one battle shock on them and -1. Now they can't hold the objective.
Yep.
Although I guess do jackals still sticky or is that?
I mean, you'd wipe the sticky um,
Oh, by actually getting on
by
the
actually
objective.
getting
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
point,
Okay.
right?
I see. Yeah.
But yeah, it's
I mean,
kind of neat.
yeah. So like, I think the initial lists that we're gonna see are gonna be like 5, 6 Dread Knights, maybe a few Rhinos for some of the transport shenanigans, and a whole bunch of scoring stuff. I think that's what we're mostly gonna see. Um,
Yep.
in that detachment. So then we had talked earlier, and this seems to be your darling, and this is the darling of the Grey Knights. Discord at the moment is the Banishers. Um, so I think this is the other one you thought might be a little spicy. You want to explain?
Yeah, yeah. So I think this is the one that they were talking about in the Warcom article when they were talking about making melee good because basically TLDR of it is that it's or it's
Dark
Dark Pact
Pact.
just on melee though, which is kind of a bummer. I wish it was on. I wish it was on the shooting as well. I think if it was on the shooting, this would be my like this is the one I will play competitively all the time. One of the other things that I wish was in there was you don't actually get it by default. So you do have to pass your leadership test. So this one is particularly susceptible to, you know, -1 leadership armies like Chaos Knights or Tyranids or something like that.
Yeah.
So, um, this one seems good. Once we get into some of the enhancements and definitely on some of the stratagems, but I think the army rule is good. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's not quite as good as it could have been, which could be for the best, right?
Yeah. We've got a question, which is, will the Storm Raven be be used in Spearhead. I made a joke about bringing 3 in that. I don't think the rules for flyers are necessarily very good. That said, I know that for a while, this in the middle of 10th, there was a player on the East Coast doing very well with Grey Knights with 10 Purifiers and Crow in a Storm Raven. Remember, though, if you advance, you can't disembark that turn. So you have to end a normal move.
I think you could get, like, there might be a world where instead of a Dread Knight, you're taking a Storm Raven, and it's filled with Paladins, right? But I think that there might be better. I don't know.
Uses
Maybe
for the
you
points?
dump a Paladin bomb out with that full rerolls to wound.
It does have a ton of shooting. Like, it has a ton of guns.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's something there. I typically don't like flyers just on principle. So I tend to not pick them or think about picking them. But there's probably like people like Rick was saying, there's been people that have been successful with it, but I'm not one of them. So.
And I just went back and looked at the stratagem. Again, you can give it +1 to wound, which is pretty good, and it has a ton of guns. If you really need to fly up the board and kill one specific, like for instance, if you really need to kill like a Necron reanimator, the Storm Raven's going to kill that Necron like reanimate. You're going to trade 100 or 240 point flyer for it, but like maybe that's what you need at the moment. So you could use it as like a targeted assassin for stuff like that. Because believe me, those are linchpins of some of those crazy Awakened Dynasty builds, and they need to die. But
the first time you go up against it, you just don't forget what that stupid warrior brick can do.
Right.
At Tacoma, I had a friend of mine who literally has a picture of a circle of Necron warriors, and there's an avatar of Cain in the middle, and he spent like 3 or 4 turns charging it, shooting it, like hitting it with dumb idiot attacks, falling back because it had a warden in it, shooting it, and doing all of that again. And like every time the avatar would activate, he would get like 6 or 7 warriors back. So it just never left the Necron warrior jail. So, but anyways, that's
yeah. Back to Banishers. So yeah, their detachment rule is just in the fight phase. You roll a leadership test, and then if you pass, you pick either sustained hits 1 or lethal hits. This is an especially good combo on paladins with led by a brother captain, because the brother captain's already gonna give them lethal hits, and then you just give them sustained 1, so they have all the buffs, and potentially could, go nuts. Don't apologize for interrupting. That's why we do this live. Otherwise, we would record and I do a nicely professionally, edited video. But no, that's why we do this, man. So no problem. So, what do you think of the detachment rule? Like,
I think it's good. I think like I want to put this on the table and try it out with, especially like with purifiers, like sustained hits on those guys, gonna be real good. But yeah, I think that's just a really good rule, and I think it's got once we get into some of the other parts of it, like with stratagems and enhancements, it makes it a pretty competitive archetype.
And it is by unit too. So in the fight phase, you get to choose per unit what buff you want. So,
yep.
If you have some mega stacked paladins going in, maybe you need sustained hits on them, but then on your purifier brick that's going into the same large knight, you really need lethals, right? So you can you can pick and choose. So.
Yep. So.
All right. You want to do Sigil of the Hunt?
Yeah, Sigil of the Hunt. Grey Knight model only. In your shooting phase, each time a model in the bear's unit makes an attack, reroll hit rolls of 1. Pretty good. Always good to have reroll 1s. Do you know what it's cost? What the cost is?
I was just looking that up. It's 10 points.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Unless, you're not in Warpbane when you choose this detachment, so get your rerolls.
Yeah,
Alright.
I mean, you can also put this on, throw this on a GNDK, right?
Mm-hmm. It's any Grey Knight's
So,
model. Yeah.
yep.
Ephemeral Tome. Grey Knight's infantry only. At the start of your shooting phase, if the bearer's unit is not within engagement range of one or more enemy units, you may use this enhancement. If it does, the bearer's unit can make a normal move of up to d6 inches, and until the end of the turn, it's not eligible to declare a charge. I mean, it's positional,
Yeah.
cool stuff. We don't have an interceptor leader, so you can't stack this on some interceptors and get like the 18-inch plus a d6-inch move. So I don't. It's 15 points, but I don't see a reason to really
It's enhancement.
use this. If it
It's
was
just,
something
yeah.
like Grey Knight's infantry, when you were targeted with a shooting attack, you could make a d6-inch move. Now we're talking.
Yeah. Or if it
That
was like at the end of a shooting phase, right?
yeah
Like you shoot and scoot. That'd be cool.
yeah.
Right?
So yeah, it's and like remember this detachment with its like detachment rule is for melee. So this is
Yep.
buffing shooting, and it just doesn't synergize super well. 66th seal, you're up.
Granite model only. In your shooting phase, each time a model in the bear's unit makes an attack, improve the armor penetration of that attack by 1. Good
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, I think if you were to put this on to, say, like a Brother Captain or something like that, suddenly Stormbolters are AP1 and your Psy Cannons are AP2. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can also slap this onto a Dread Knight, and suddenly the Gatling Silencer's AP1 and the Psy Cannon is AP3, ignores cover. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Makes guard cry for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I immediately thought about the Mimi stuff, like stick it on a purgation squad with a bunch of flamers, you jump out, you're -2 AP flamer, or if you're in a Razorback, you're like -3 AP flamers at that point. But yeah, it's just that's all Mimi. I wouldn't actually build a list that did that. Pyre Soul. Granite's model only at the start of your shooting phase. The bear can use this enhancement if it does select one enemy unit within 24 inches and visible. They take the 3 more wounds. You got Smite back. Congratulations. You got 9th edition Smite back. But for 1 unit. And you gotta pay 20 points for it. It's potentially fine. Like, I could see some stuff where, like, you put this on a Tech Marine, you hide the, like, Tech Marine by Rhino or a Razorback, or the Dread Knights, he's, like, healing them as they move up, and he's just taking 24-inch, you know, average of 2 mortal wound pot shots for free the whole game. And that's not nothing over the span of 5 games.
It is
But
10 damage over the span of a full game if you activate it.
yeah, if he lives the whole time. But yes.
If you live the whole time.
Yeah.
It feels like one of the, like that meme where the person is like doing the kickflip with a rake, and then they like
Just,
go down the stairs and end up just stepping on the rake.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sideshow Bob. All right. So, I mean, the Sigil of the Hunt seems like it's really good, and you're going to take that. All of these buff your shooting face, but this is a melee detachment according to the detachment rule. So I'm getting mixed signals already, right? I mean, am I wrong?
I mean, I think it does. It gives some juice to kind of the anemic, like infantry-based shooting that you have access to, right? Like AP2 side cannons are actually like a viable thing. You know, having the 1 or 2 Dread Knights that you're probably going to take with this, like the fact that they can do reroll hit rolls of 1, right? Like, yeah, it's a punching punching detachment, but I think these allow you to play a little more combined arms if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, you just save the points and put that into other stuff, right? There's just more infantry you can take. So
It's true. I mean, the ones that stand out are obviously like Sigil of the Hunt and 66 Seal. Sigil of the Hunt being 10 points is like you're probably gonna have the 10 points to take it. 66 Seal is 25 points, the most expensive enhancement. So you're gonna want to put that on a unit that you're intending to shoot with in this, which is fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that, but like you are intending to shoot and have that +1 AP. So, and again, you can say it on a Dread Knight. Makes it a very expensive Dread Knight, but it's all good.
250 point Dread Knight.
Yeah.
Oof.
All right. You want to start off the strats with Hex Rot Reprisal?
Hex Rot Reprisal. Oh man, you gave me the most convoluted and complicated one.
Oh, I did. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Is this the bounce
No,
wounds
it's
one?
end of the fight phase.
End of any phase.
Oh yeah, end of any phase. Yeah. See, I read words good.
You're real good at this game, aren't you?
Target one Grey Knight Psyker unit from your army that is on the battlefield and suffered one or more mortal wounds this phase. Select one enemy unit which inflicted one or more mortal wounds on your unit this phase, and then roll a number of dice equal to the number of mortal wounds that your unit suffered this phase. For each 2+, that enemy suffers one mortal wound to a maximum of 6. These mortal wounds are psychic attacks.
This was
I think preview,
in the
right?
preview. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny to think about.
Yeah.
Like, there are armies out there that are trying to mortal wound you to death. It's mostly Thousand Sons, but, you know, this is funny. Like,
Magnus is on just a couple wounds at the end of the game, and you're like, nah, dog. I am the Doombolt now.
oh yeah, that's true. So Tongue said my friend's 25 swooping hawks are gonna really love this. So that's true. Any of those units that fly over you and do mortal wounds, what is it? What's the customs unit? The guys with the wings? They do
Venatari?
it. I think so. Don't the Venatari do that?
Maybe
Anyway,
the
there are a
jetbikes.
bunch.
Yeah.
I would say the Deathwatch Corvus Blackstar, but no one takes them. So you're never gonna have to bounce the mortal wounds back. But I mean, it's funny to think about stuff like that. Swooping hawks and
Ret Cadre grenade racks. They'll fly their crisis suits over you, and you'll send back 2 mortal wounds.
There you go. This is also something though that knowing, like, if you're in a mirror or something, or like your opponent has tank shock, because everyone does, they're probably not going to use it if you have like 1 CP left, and maybe you could blow up a vehicle in the charge phase, or what's the Brutalis does mortals on the charge, so you could potentially kill.
Can do it like a double tank shock.
Yeah, but I think the Brutalis, like, it has to use its ability. So if it's slow on wounds and it charges you, you bounce back 3, it dies. Like, you know, there's no fight phase. It died in the charge phase. So that's interesting as well. It's kind of like a come at me, bro. Like, use those strats thing too. So that's interesting. Oh yeah, the demon prince with wings. All right, warding chant. When in your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, 1 Grey Knight Psyker unit from your army that was selected as a target of 1 or more of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, you have a 5-up Feel No Pain against attacks with an unmodified damage characteristic of 1.
Good.
You get charged by 20 boys with choppas.
Yeah.
Like,
or,
now you have a 5-up Feel No Pain. So.
World Eaters Berserkers are just even more angry because, like, now all of their chain axes that you were gonna be saving on a 3 anyways are you've got to Feel No Pain again.
Yeah.
So pretty good.
So pretty good. The one, like, obviously if it was just period you got a 5-up Feel No Pain, it would not be 1 CP.
Mm-hmm.
It would probably be 2, but otherwise pretty good.
Yeah, seems decent.
You want to bane my chaos there, Tony?
I will bane your chaos. In a shooting phase, Grey Knight Psyker unit from your army gets anti-chaos 4+. That's pretty good. I mean, it's like,
It's great into
again,
Mauler
it's fine.
Fiends.
Yeah, I mean,
Great
with
into Blood
like the
Fiends.
Crow Brick, this is gonna be oppressive. Like all of your flamers and your storm bolters and everything. Like you just give your opponent a mess of saves. But
And on Crow too, he has Dev Wounds.
yeah. So I mean,
And Precision. Might be
yeah.
worth
So I
using
mean,
it just for that at some point. So
yeah. It's I mean, again, it'll be situational. Like I think these first three are just kind of, yeah, you might use them once in a blue moon and you'll be glad they're there, but most of the time you'll probably forget they exist because you're using it the next three probably the most. So
Celerity, your charge phase. 1 Grey Knight Psyker infantry units. You can't use this on a Grandmaster Dread Knight, unfortunately. But until the end of the turn, they are eligible to declare a turn in which they advanced. So this is always a problem with Terminator models. They're always slow. You can make them a little faster and still charge. So, yeah.
and this is always good anytime they print it. Advance and charge on an infantry unit, especially one that's trying to get stuck in, is awesome. Also, one of the really nice things about this stratagem that is not, compared to some of the other sources of advance and charge is this is in your charge phase. You already know what you advanced for. Like you don't have to use it in your movement phase or anything like that, or before you roll the advance. You can be like, well, I need these guys stuck in. They advanced, so we're gonna charge with them. So nice little timing synergy there that's helpful. That'll kind of smooth out the interaction a bit.
Yeah. I do like that it's just well, the timing's a little weird because it's in your charge phase, right? Usually when stratagems like this are called, you have to do it in your movement phase.
Yep.
So that yeah, I mean that does seem a little weird. Like that seems a very 8th edition. Almost, right? Like
Yeah, but it's in a good way. I mean, you get a like, I mean, I've done the CSM one. I did the CSM one, early in the edition, and have to declare it before I rolled the advance, and you spend a CP, and then you get like a 1 on your advance, and you're like, fuck. Like they don't even like get anywhere close to where you need them to charge. So
yeah, that's fair. All right. Circle of Sanctuary.
yeah. So this one is start of your movement phase or your opponent's movement phase. 1 Grey Knight character model from your army until the end of the phase. Enemy units that are set up with the battlefield as reinforcements cannot be set up within 12 inches horizontally of your model. This is no deep strike aura, man, and it is very nice to
Spicy.
have. Yeah.
Spicy.
If you've ever played against the Mortarion Hammers list, or Mortarion's Hammer list, where they just can pick units from your army, and now they are in contagion range, and then they're going to be dumping Death Shroud Terminators at you with 6-inch charges. Like this is perfect for that. Like it's kind of miserable to play against with Grey Knights because it's super hard to screen out. There's you don't have much in the way of units to combat that, and so having something like this that you can kind of you'll see where they're putting their contagion, and then you're like, cool, my donut of safety is up, and it's good utility, especially in a combat army.
It also will will separate the adults from the kids too. Will be because it's off of that character model. It's where did you move the model? So
Yep.
it might be a character in a 10-man Terminator brick, But if you just nonchalantly push them up the board, and they can squeeze something in on you, right? Like, to score something like behind enemy lines. But if you're deliberate with your movement, and you're like, all right, I know he drew, like last turn, he drew behind enemy lines. I can move this unit up to here. I keep the like character back. If I see him like, start to, or if I think he's gonna drop a unit back in this corner, at the start of his movement phase, I can just say no. That's cool too. So, does it mean you can deep strike vertically 6 inches away? Show me a board that has terrain above you. But no, actually, they did. This is a 9th edition ruling. So there was some stuff in 9th edition where, like, because you could measure charges from your hull, but you measured where you dropped from your base, there were things like Drakari Ravagers and stuff could get like 8-inch charges if they use Pythagorean's theorem and stuff like that on you. So they actually just made it is horizontal. Like, no matter how far up you are vertical, you have to be 12 inches horizontally away from any target, which means you aren't even eligible to declare a charge. Like, and that's the same for like coming out of deep strike. Normally, you have to be 9 inches away horizontally, so you are always at an unmodified 9-inch charge. And you're out of melter range if you're 18-inch guns, all that stuff. That's done to stop everybody from gaming Pythagorean's theorem. Yeah. So it's think of it as a cylinder, not a sphere. All right, let's see. Very good. Like, this is one thing, when I was playing in 10th and 9th, I was swapping between my Grey Knights and my Death Watch, and on my Death Watch I was always able to bring Infiltrators. Infiltrators have Deep Strike Denial. You could bring 2 units and basically just make your whole backfield undeep strikeable. And I always wish that I had something like that in my Grey Knights, and this detachment brings that. So that's nice. Shadow of Aniarch. Your opponent's movement phase just before an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fall back. 1 Grey Knight Psyker unit from your army that is within 9 inches of that enemy unit and not within engagement range may immediately make a move of up to 6, or if it has deep strike, it can be placed into strategic reserves. It's Miscedamus. Miscedamus, baby.
Yeah. This is why this detachment I think is competitively viable, because it's a combat army that if you get into a combat mirror, like having the ability to just, like, I'm not going to be here anymore is very good.
Yeah.
You combine that with the ability to zone out a unit 12 inches from deep strike, and it's like you get to pick engagements and you get to pick where you fight, when you fight. Incredibly powerful and something that you will build your game plan around here.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you kind of said it when we started to go through these stratagems. The ones on the left are cutesy, fun. They're nice toolbox things to have. The ones on the right are the ones that you're gonna consistently use.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So those are the 2 that we think are particularly spicy. I'm sad to say that I think it's Aguilu. That's the Terminator one, right? No, that's the Hallowed Conclave. This is the one I really wanted, just thematically. I love the idea again of the first war of Armageddon, Hyperion, like banishing Angron back to the warp. Everyone's in Terminator armor. So let's go through it and describe why we think this is fun, thematic. Maybe it's okay, but it's not great. So the detachment rule is Terminator units from your army are eligible to shoot and declare charge in the turn that they fell back. How's that feel, Tommy?
I mean, it's not bad. I think it's, um, I mean, you want to get stuck in with your Terminators and being able to mass fall back and charge. A lot of times you're using charges to get, some extra movement. You can't like have a Rhino just touch one of your Terminators and then suddenly your 10-man brick is stuck in combat for a turn. Um, it keeps you from getting kind of, stuck in the pit. Keeps you moving, but again, it's like you compare that to some of the other detachment rules, and it's like, all right, it's nice, but not amazing. So
Eye of the Augurium. You want to take that way? That's the first enhancement
yeah,
for Hallowed Conclave.
Granite model only once per battle. If the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, the bearer's unit can fire Overwatch or Heroic Intervention. Use the Heroic Intervention stratum for no CP. Or for 0 CP, and can do so even if you've already targeted a different unit with the stratagem this turn. That's
It
good. I
turns
mean,
Yeah, it turns one Brotherhood champion or Brotherhood captain like into a Custodian's Blade champion.
yeah,
That's baked in on the Blade champ data sheet.
yeah, and I think being able to do, 2 Overwatches or 2 Heroic Interventions is cool. Um, I think, it just it it's fine. I mean, maybe there's a world in which you have 2 Paladin units with 3 incinerators in them, and suddenly you're overwatching with 6 incinerators in a certain spot, and
I guess you could
you're
actually have like one of those Paladin bricks with a Grandmaster in it, and the other one with a Bro captain with this enhancement. You're firing Overwatch twice for free each
hmm
each round.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I will note there seems to be some confusion in chat. This specifically says once per battle round, so it's not once per battle. It's once per battle round. Um, so yeah, I mean that's a little spicy, right? But I mean, it's real good in a World Eaters, I guess, because if you step out and you have like a battle line of 10 Paladin, or I guess 12 technically with 2 characters in it, right? Like each of them brings a flamer as well. It's really good into World Eaters because they have to charge you. They're not generally, except they're 8 bound, like they're not generally that like tough. So you could roast a bunch of berserkers with them, but it seems fine. Except it's 25 points. It's the most expensive enhancement in this detachment.
no,
Yeah, again, this is one of those ones that if it's 10, 15, you're just down on a few
yeah.
points, like you take it, but I don't think this is very good. All right. You want to judge something inescapable?
Yeah, inescapable judgment. Um, Granite model only. Each time an enemy unit within engagement range of the bear's unit falls back, the bear it rolls a. Sorry, lost my train of thought here. The bear can use this enhancement. If it does, roll 1d6. On a 2 to 5, unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 6, that unit suffers d3 plus 3. These mortal wounds are psychic attacks. Portals on a fallback, not bad. You know,
It's 20 points.
make it. It's how many points?
20
20.
points. I like what they're doing here. They're trying to lean into the Grey Knights used to do a bunch of mortal wounds. They're trying to lean into the psychic thing. They're trying to lean into even using the detachment rule, like when you fall back, right? So like you could put this on a brother captain. You fall back your paladin unit. You get to do some extra mortal wounds. 20 points. Like you're only gonna fall back like once, maybe twice a battle. And you're gonna do an average of 2 mortal wounds. Occasionally you'll spike and do an average of of 5, but like that's not something you can count on, you know. So not fantastic in my opinion. Maybe there's something you see, Tommy, that I don't.
I mean, it's mortal wounds. But it's also the cost of it is rough. Like 20 points, you're probably already spending a lot of like if you're, the Terminator lists, those 20 points can be precious to like get your list right. So I don't know. Could be good, but I don't see this one as being a standout one for me.
Yeah.
Too many terms and conditions.
Yeah, exactly. Santic Reaper, Grey Knight's Terminator model unit only, so I would immediately stick this on a brother captain. Add 3 attacks to the bear's melee weapon. So you're going from, I think it's 5 to 8 attacks. And I will reiterate that the brother captains, one of their abilities is specifically when he attacks something, he gets to just re-roll the wound. Roll down.
Yep. And he
so
has lethals.
Yeah. So you want to put him on the brother captain. I can't think of a better target.
The Grandmaster could get spicy because you can give him his like best day ever, and he gets +3 attacks and +3 strength.
Oh, and
right?
then he gets another +3 attacks.
And then he gets another 3 attacks.
I guess
right?
yeah. So he could have 12 attacks. Or 11, yeah.
Yeah, I mean with the stratagem, it's 12 attacks at 2 hitting on 2s, strength 9 for AP2.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
pretty cramped,
that is actually
right?
pretty spicy.
Well, and then you put it, and then you let's see what else. If he's in a paladin unit, now he's +1 damage on the charge.
The paladin paladin squad
right.
special
Paladins
specifically does not include characters.
Dang it, James.
Yeah, so he would still won't be hitting for 2s, not 3s, but yeah.
Let me have my. They just really don't want people to have hammers again.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then we have Nemesis rounds, Terminator model unit only. Each time that you target the bearer's unit with fire overwatch, hits are scored on an unmodified 5. So you could put this on another paladin or Terminator unit because Terminators can now have 2 special weapons per 5-mans. That changed in one of the datasheet stuff, which we'll get to later. So you could double triple up on firing Overwatch, I guess.
Yeah, this goes on the Grandmaster. That is Overwatching for free. And then the other one Eye of the Augurium goes on some other.
Yeah, stick a bunch of silencers and the guys getting on 5s. Now you got precision.
And you're killing the GSC
all
characters
the GSC
out
characters
on their drop turn, and watching the player across from you just melt internally as their game plan goes to pieces.
That would be funny. So Nemesis rounds is 10 points. So yeah, this is the one that you just you're like, fuck it, we ball. You stick this on.
This is arguably better than Eye of the Augurium.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh.
All right, stratagems, Giants of the Battlefield. Go for it.
+1 attacks on Terminators. It's good.
It's good.
He will probably slam this almost every turn.
Yeah. It's real good. Even if you're down a couple models, in a linchpin moment, you're probably still gonna spend the CP. It's good.
Yep.
And it's Grey Knight Terminator unit too. And it's all models, so it includes characters. It's good. Just everybody, however number of models you have left in the unit, just add another die per model. It's perfect. It's not crazy bouncing mortal wounds back, but it's good. All right. Unending fealty, your opponent shooting phase or fight phase just after they have selected a target. One Grey Knight's infantry unit that was selected as a target. You get either fight on death or shoot on death. on a 4+. So it's kind of unreliable. But like, fight on death is not bad. You know, you have a 5-man Terminator squad with a leader in there. They get wiped. 3 of them still get to swing back. That's not the worst. Although I guess technically it's actually only like 2 or 3 of them, because once the unit is wiped, the leader's alive, and then the unit, like the leader dies, right? Is that how the rules work?
I have to ask someone smarter than me on that one.
Cool.
I think maybe it's persistent effects. They're fine.
Yeah.
But,
it might be because it's after the activation or something.
Yeah, like the persistent effects rule, like, but
yeah,
you know, that's the type of interaction I ask the rule wizards about. So.
Yeah. Is James on here? James. And his name is actually James. It's not like, I'm not making a James Workshop joke. There's a TO in my area named James, who is the guy who knows all of these little intricate like rules. So anyway, point blank purgation. Go for it, Tommy.
You purgate at point blank. So this one's in your shooting phase. Your infantry unit gets the storm bolters in the unit get pistol and twin linked. So, you know, basically your Terminators grab the GSC, you know, GSC neophyte by the collar and go and just hose their face down. This is cool. I think it's one of those things that, like, maybe you're I kind of question like why it's in the Codex if you've got fallback, shoot and charge. Like, why would you do this? But twin linked is pretty sick. So
And pistol's pretty sick too. So like, yeah. I mean, like, you could have a situation where like you have a 6-man Terminator or Paladin unit left. Maybe all your heavy weapons are dead or whatever. You could fire at some vehicle that's on low wounds. You get twin links, so you're rerolling the wounds. It doesn't matter that you're firing pistol. And actually, you could even still fire all the other special weapons in the unit. You just can only fire the storm bolters on models that have more than one. So, like, if you have Voldus, he can only fire his storm bolter, because now storm bolters have the pistol keyword. So
this was like it might have a little more utility, but like I don't know if you're ever going to really use this one. On one note about unending fealty, the last stratagem we did, it doesn't specify you actually have to shoot the thing that shot you and killed you.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, your opponent shoots you, and they've got some scouts on a point right next to you, and you pull the incinerator because you're already going to get one back anyways next turn, and you just turn to the side and roast their objective holder, and do something cute with that. So, interesting use there, but
well, so if they're fighting on death because they're no longer part of their unit, you can't use stratagems on them, right? There's a whole thing about that. Like, if you get to fight on death, because it depends. It's if that model has not fought. So now that it's per model, it's not part of a unit anymore. So when it fights, it only gets like what's on its data sheet. It doesn't get to be buffed, like, because now each model's effectively its own unit. There's a lot of weird stuff when it comes to fight on death, like about how all that works. And I don't think you or I have had to learn that because we haven't had fight on death.
No.
So the rules accuracy doesn't matter. I was learning a lot of that when I was starting to play Custodes, and I'm like, oh, I do have fight on death. That's interesting. I didn't know that there's, a 20-page guidebook on how to use fight on death. So yeah, point blank purgation. Like, you're already falling back and shooting and charging. You're gonna spend the CP, I guess, maybe Like, if you get charged by 20 Hormagaunts and you don't wipe them, then I guess you just get to kill them, but you're spending a CP to do it when you can just fall back and shoot and charge something else for free. So, again, I just don't... Maybe this was supposed to be in another detachment. It doesn't feel particularly good in this one. Grind them underfoot is the Terminator tank shock, basically. This one was already in the preview. In your charge phase, just after you've made a charge move, which is nice, so you don't have to spend this, then fill your charge, and now you've also spent ACP. That Grey Knight's unit does mortal wounds on a 4+ for every unit, or every model that's within engagement range with the unit that you charged, up to a maximum of 6. It's fine. It's fine.
Maybe you bag a maybe you bag a custodian and warden on your way into combat here, but for the most part, it's like it's fine.
Yeah,
Not great.
It's fine.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
just good. So
precognitive strategies.
Yeah, in your opponent's movement phase, this is basically just a reactive move. So, when they end a move within 9, your infantry unit can make a normal move of up to D6.
Yep.
Pretty good.
So this is half of Mists of Deimos.
Mm-hmm.
It's the movement half of Mists of Deimos from the index, and the other detachment got the teleport part half of Mists of Deimos. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they just got the better version of They've got Mists of Deimos, right? Like
yeah, they have the one you use most of the time.
they get the actual 6. I mean, this is good. I mean, it's a stratagem that sees a lot of play in Gladius, right? This is one of those ones that you can kind of control combat a little bit with. So like your opponent runs up to you, they have a 6-inch charge, and you're like, well, let's make that a 9 on average, right? You move back, and then you fade back, and then charge forward. Helps you control the engagements and picket, which can be really important when you're talking about slow 5-inch move Terminators that can be tricky to get into combat or are really expensive, so you don't want to be the thing activated on.
Right.
So
you want to be doing the activating.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, like, reactive moves are good. They're, back in the index days, there was a lot of cheeky stuff you could play. Like you're saying, they get within 6, you move back 3 to 4, you're still towing on the objective. Now they're more likely to fail their charge. You could also, just, if you know you're going to lose the objective entirely, you could move, like, potentially. It is a D6, so you have to roll it, but, like, you could potentially just get out of harm's way, or like duck behind some ruins. There's some cheeky stuff here. And then Shining Resolve. Your opponent's shooting phase. One Grey Knight's infantry unit that was selected as a target basically gets -1 to wound if you're being hit with anything that has a strength higher than your toughness. So not bad. It's a nice little defensive bonus. It's the old paladin ability baked into a strat now that you can stick on any of your infantry. So you could stick this on a strike squad if you really need to have have them live through a shooting phase to score you some points, or you can put it on some paladins, and then it's like the old days.
The old days.
Yeah, it's fine. Honestly, 4 of these feel like you're not going to use them very much. Final Death, actually, that might be false. So 3 of them feel like you might not use them very much. 1 feels like you're never going to use it. +1 attack, you're going to use it every time that you possibly can. And then Fight on Death, you're going to use situationally. And Shining Resolve, you're also going to use kind of like AOC almost, So, yeah, it just, considering the other detachments we talked about had clear winning, really good strats, this one has two really good strats, which is the Fight on Death and the +1 attack, and then the rest are kind of situational, and one is a complete dud. Like, honestly, the point blank purgation seems like it should be part, like, maybe not with Twin Link, but it like ought to be part of the like of one of these detachment rules. You know what I mean? Like, just give Stormbolters pistol. They tried to do this in 9th with one of
the silver spear, silver
the
sword, or
silver blades.
silver
Yeah,
blades. Yeah,
tried to do it with one of the detachments. I don't think anybody in the world ever spent one CP on that stratagem.
I don't think anyone ever in the world played that detachment because it was so bad.
Yeah, maybe. So how are we feeling? Like, I really wanted this one to be a bombshell for the same reason that Josh said here, which, hi Josh, haven't seen you in a while. He just wants to run it because he wants to run a bunch of Terminators. That's great. You can also run a bunch of Terminators and Banishers.
I mean, well, and for what it's worth, like this one does seem pretty, like it'd be fun to play, like if you're jamming with your friends, and like it doesn't have an oppressive rule set. You still get to do like big wombo combo, like I'm gonna kill something with this stratagem with my Terminators, like 50 attacks from Terminators. That kills a lot of stuff, right?
True.
So
Also, it rolls a lot of dice, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, it just tickles that part of your brain, right? So I think it's gonna be fun to play. I don't think it will be competitive, which also makes it like a good candidate for some garage hammer. You're jamming with your friends. You and your buddy got to do the Battle of Armageddon, where you take your Terminators in, and he brings Angron, and then
there's a whole Crusade book about that, right?
it's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
So.
And there will be some Space Wolf player out there just ruining it for everybody. Anyway.
Space
Right.
Wolf players.
So I want to talk about speaking of Garage Hammer. I'm gonna scroll through these real quick. Not Santic Spearhead. What's the other one? Aguilu Task Force. So this is the one. Yeah.
Task Force.
So this is the one that lets you pick up to, like, I think we did the math last night, and it was like you could theoretically have like 8 units going back into strategic reserves.
Something like that.
So you could just effectively pick up your entire army, assuming you're not in engagement range. And even if some of them are, this is the one I would play if it was like Crusade Night, And we're gonna play like 6 missions, Crusade, 1,000 points, like starting 500 or whatever. I think this is the one I would play because it's so maneuverable and so wonky. You brought up an excellent point yesterday that you feel like this would be super good in teams because you can just blunt pretty much anybody. You'll get like a 10-10, which is a important piece for your team to have. So you can take all those unfavorable matchups and hopefully blunt them just as much as possible by just not being there to be shot or charged. And you just score all your wacky secondaries. So what do you think of this one, man?
I think it's good. I think it's like I said, I think it's an army that I don't know if it's my favorite play style, but I think, Grey Knights in 10th have been Eldar in power armor, and this leans into it like harder than
hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah, like you put this in the hands of someone that's like, got a brain the size of the Goodyear blimp, and like they'll be able to really annoy people and keep just score more points than they have any reason doing. And like there's just like a bunch of little tricks and things like that you can throw at your opponent, like sticking something before you leave and then going and doing the objective with that, or doing a secondary with that strike squad that had just sticky at the back line. Um, and then like some of the enhancements in here are really interesting too, because you can make make a unit of Terminators T7 on like a go turn or something like that. It's like that's really good.
Mhm.
Like they'll just live longer than they have any reason living. So just cool stuff in here, and it's just got a lot of neat tricks, and yeah.
Yeah. So I know we just kind of talked about it in generalities. The detachment rule is from the second battle round onwards, and I think this was previewed at the start of your movement phase. If you did not select the maximum number of Grey Knights units from your army using the Gate of Infinity ability at the end of your opponent's previous turn, so that's what like Teleport Assault has been renamed to. It's now Gate of Infinity. You may select one Green Knights unit from your army that is on the battlefield that could have been selected, so they can't be in engagement range. Remove it and immediately place it into strategic reserves. So that means that you only pick up 2 at the end of your opponent's phase for a Strike Force mission. At the start of your movement phase, which is important because, as Tommy just said, that means that abilities that go off in your command phase, like Sticky, get to go off. At the start of your movement phase, you grab that unit. They go into strategic reserves, which means they can either come in on the battlefield edge or you can deep strike them at the end of your movement phase. So you pick them up the start of the movement phase and you deep strike them or bring them in via strategic reserves at the end of your movement phase. So there's a lot of wacky shit you can do with this. This is kind of bonkers. Because yeah, it is very tricky. Hey Cyrus, thanks for swinging by, man. That's just the army or the detachment rule, by the way. I didn't get into any of the enhancements yet, which will let Tommy take it away with the grimoire.
Grimoire of Conjunctions. Granite model only. Once per battle at the start of the fight phase, you can use the enhancement. You get 4 to the strength characteristics of melee weapons equipped by the bearer.
I love the laugh that you just did.
It's wacky.
Did you have the same thought I did? Is that why?
Yeah, like just Smash Captains are back, man. Like
that or again, the meme build is you stick this on a Grandmaster Dread Knight who's re-rolling everything, and now he's a strength 18 hammer.
Oh my god.
Just a Knight Obliterator.
No. I refuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could stick this on a Grandmaster on foot. Once per game, he can go up to 8 attacks, strength 10. So there's your hammer, guys. You want hammers back. Minus 2
Wouldn't
damage.
it be strength?
Oh, no, it'd be strength 13.
13.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I was adding the attacks and not the strength. Yeah.
No, I know.
So it'd be 8 attacks, strength 13, minus 2 damage. Unfortunately, it doesn't increase the AP or the damage, but like that's, what's the highest toughness thing in the game right now? Because there was a bunch of squash that did
13. I think the like Lord of Skulls is T13.
Okay. Yeah. So like you're wounding him on force. Not bad.
Sick.
Pretty fun. Shield of Prophecy, Grey Knights model only once per battle at the start of the battle round. Bearer can use this enhancement if it does until the end of the battle or the battle round. That would be amazing if it was until the end of the battle. But until the end of the battle round, add 2 to the toughness. So yeah, you want your T7 paladins for your go turn where you need to like absorb a whole bunch of potential overwatch or make them not overwatch you. or you're about to get charged by a bunch of Death Watch Terminators this round, and you know it. So at the start of the round, you just the start of the round abilities are always a little funky, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they can. You know, it's sometimes hard to know, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, on your you should know kind of like on the go turn when something's gonna when your opponent's gonna be jumping on you,
Yeah.
and maybe you pop this and it delays your opponent's go turn. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
that's true. All right. 1 foot in the future, Mr. Tommy.
yeah, each time you're set up from reinforcement step, you can use the enhancement. If you do, you make a normal move of up to D6, and you cannot charge. Again, this is good. It could be interesting to like flip a back line or something like that. Without,
Yeah.
yeah, it just again, it's kind of an enhancement looking like it's a solution looking for a problem or something like that. You know.
To me, this is a thing where like you're trying to make like what we used to use Stern. Stern was like a little base. He'd drop down on a backfield. He'd score like a secondary and he'd go away. Like that's what you use this now for, like a brother captain or a tech marine. You stick him in there, and he can even come down outside at 12 from like infiltrators in the backfield, and then he can move D6, maybe get behind enemy lines or get containment or whatever. There's some stuff here. 1 foot in the future is 15 points. So I don't know. It's not horrible. It's probably less than bringing Stern if Stern were still around, which he isn't. Surprise. So, yeah, you know, you come out, or even a normal deep strap, you come out within 9, you move up to 6, so you're really moving 3 to 4. Yeah, maybe you can test something, which Josh just said, like maybe you don't. I don't know. It's not great. Like if it was guaranteed move up to like your movement value, that'd be really reliable. But yeah, it doesn't seem.
6, it would be worth it. How much does it cost?
It is 15.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, the next one, Doomslayer's Amulet, is 25, and I haven't read this one yet, so let's find out together. Doomslayer's Amulet, Grey Knight model only. Each time the bearer's unit is set up in your reinforcement step, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, select one enemy unit within 12 inches that is invisible to the bearer. So again, this is the model, so you need to be specific with your movement. That enemy must take a battle shock text subtracting 1. If it were 15 or 10, that's fine. 25 is a tough swallow. Except I mean, again, I guess you can do a lot of that control play where you come down, you force a battle shock, they lose control of an objective, the start of their turn, they don't score, or like you
still would have
like charge.
Yeah, they still.
Yeah.
The battle shock will clear by the time you get to their turn, so you can't really do it for that. But maybe it's like this high, you know. What GSC like neophyte squads? I think are like 40 OC if it's a 20 man on something. So it's like, you know, maybe you got maybe use it to flip something like that.
My problem with this amulet specifically is that you either need to clear something off with your shooting after it's battle shocked, or you need to make a charge, and hopefully it's the latter, so you're on the objective.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's objective, obviously. If you come down within 12 and you manage to see a unit that's like doing sabotage and you can battle shock them and then they fail the sabotage and then you ignore them and go kill something else, like maybe that's great, but I don't know. This is like for 25 points, it's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
All right, that's the enhancement. All right. Aggressive anticipation. Take it away.
All right. In your shooting phase or fight phase, select a Grey Knight Psyker that is not shot or fought until the end of the phase. Each time you make an attack, you ignore all modifiers for that attack's weapon skill or ballistic skill, and any and all hit modifiers. That's fine. It's basically, you know, the Grandmaster, the old Grandmaster rule on demand for one command point.
But you're not ignoring things like AOC. You're not
Yeah,
ignoring -1 to wound modifiers. It's specifically weapon skill, ballistic skill, and hit roll. So
yep.
it's not as good. It's pretty specific too. Like how many times are you firing at what is the one Eldari, like a venom? Like how many times are you firing at a venom where you're like, this venom has to die and I'm gonna spend 1 CP to do it, you know?
Or like lightning fast, or for what it's worth, like Death Guard can feel kind of miserable because you're just like, if they take the minus to hit, suddenly your hammer units are just kind of pillow fisted a little bit. And you're hitting on 4s, and
Is it common for, I mean, paladins would be hitting on 3s. It is just a psyker unit, so it could be, and believe me, I think you're going to see a lot of purgation or purifiers and paladins in most lists that aren't the Santic Spearhead. You're going to see a lot of those because they got a huge glow up, which we'll get to soon. Because we're almost done here. It's fine. Again, it's a tool in the toolbox. It's not one that you're going to squeeze the trigger on every turn. Appointed hour. Your shooting or fight phase, 1 Grey Knight Psychic unit or Psyker unit from your army that is not shot or fought this phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack, an unmodified hit scores on 5 or more. So bring your paladins, charge into somebody. You want 5 up lethal hits with 3 damage. Yes, you do. You know it. I know it. You spend 1 CP. This is one you're going to spend a lot. This is good.
yep. This also kind of like, if you're thinking about it from a team's perspective or something like that, if you're playing against like GSC, right? Or someone with a ton of characters, like maybe you're using this to score extra sustained hits on silencers, which now have precision. So, again, interesting things here. I think there's more, like a lot more, like a lot. There's the straightforward way of like, go hit him with paladins with lethal hits, but I think, if there's other options for sustained hits or things like that, that seems like it'd be good. So
yeah. All right. Forewarned evasion.
yeah, in your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase, just after it's selected targets, your Grey Knight Walker gets -1 to hit. Pretty good.
-1 to hit on our Dread Knights are good. Or our Vendread, I guess. The Vendread has smoke. The Dread Knights do not. So
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the smoke keyword for our Dread Knights. I guess you could double up on Vendread if like you pop smoke and then they pop +1 to hit, and you pop this. you could do that, but like that's insane. Like that better win you the game. Yeah, that better be winning. 2
command points to save a Vendread.
It better be winning you the game, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. Necessary end. Fight phase. Just after an enemy unit has selected its target, 1 Grey Knight infantry unit that was selected can, until the end of the phase, each time it is destroyed, it is not fought, roll a d6. If it's greater than the current battle round number, Do not remove it and then fight. So it's fight on death. That's easier the sooner you die. So that's kind of cool. I haven't seen that before for
the necessary end.
for fight on death. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like this could catch your opponent unawares. Like they go charge something, and then you do fight on death, and now
On a
point
2+.
they'd hope on a 2+, and they hope to flip it, and you just scam them. So.
You know, you could do some stuff where like you bait like a World Eater's army too, and it's battle round 1 and they charge you. You can't not fight on death the way I'm reading this, right? If they wipe your unit on turn 1, you pop 1 CP, everybody gets to fight.
I mean, you'd fail it on a 1, right?
I mean, it says each time a model is just, I guess 1's always failed, I guess. Then that's true.
If the result is greater than the current battle round.
Oh, so. Greater. Sorry.
Yeah.
Damn, they already thought that through.
Yeah.
Damn you, James. All right.
Yeah, they were thinking there.
Well, that was a real redirected strike, am I right?
End of your command phase, target a Red Ant Psyker until a unit from your army that is not within engagement range or of one or enemy units. You basically place it back into Deep Strike at the end of your command phase. So there's also a designer's note around, you can use this to, when you use the stratagem, abilities that retain control of objective markers like sticky or missions, still trigger.
Yep.
Which is good.
So this is some crazy stuff where like when you combine this with the armory rule, you can intentionally pick up 2 units, not 3. And then with your battle rule, you can pick up 1 at the start of your movement phase, and then you can spend a CP to pick up another one at the end of your command phase, and the designer note specifically says stuff like sticky goes off. So like you're already picking up 4 at that point.
Yep. And then think about like there's a clutch, like an objective that you're like, oh man, my unit got a little mauled and I accidentally, like I rolled, my battle shock failed. You can use this to pick another unit up and put it on that objective. I guess they wouldn't come in until after the movement phase, so it wouldn't do what I'm describing, but you can see the like objective cards and go do them, right? So
yeah, I mean, end of your command phase means you've already drawn your secondaries, so you could pick up another unit. Like if you're like, oh, I can't do this, but wait, I can if I spend 1 CP that I just got at the start of this command phase. I can go score my secondary. And it's after you've divined what you need to do that turn, so pretty powerful. And then Mirage of Echoes is reinforcement step of your opponent's movement phase just after enemy unit is set up. If they set up within 12 inches, or I'm sorry, I'll just read it. 1 Grey Knight Psyker unit from your army that is within 12 inches of that enemy unit and is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. You can place it into strategic reserves. So if they deep strike your backline, you don't want to, like with some big shooting unit, you don't want to lose your strike squad holding your backfield objective. You can just grab them, or whatever unit is back there, as long as they're a Grey Knight Psyker. So your opponent deep strikes their big shooty unit back there to try to kill you off your home objective or whatever. They've done that for effectively nothing, and they're sitting there twiddling their thumbs. Or you can jump out like the biggest thing that they wanted to kill, and then now they're stuck shooting stuff that they didn't want to shoot. So like this is really good. I guess it's not really good into like Ludas or Centurions just based on their range, but for things that have like a shorter range or need to maneuver to get to see you, this is actually really good. Or if you don't want to be
Also,
charged by like, you know,
that's
Angron.
rounds, man. Yeah. Well, it's also like you can do that tried and true play pattern of putting something back into strategic reserves and then rapid ingressing it in the same turn. So it's like your opponent deep strikes next to you, you go off the board, and then you rapid ingress back in somewhere else. Right?
Yeah,
So
that's right. Yeah. And like that's basically like a 1-2 punch too.
yeah.
Because this is at the end of your opponent's movement phase after the reinforcement step. So you pick this unit up for 1 CP, and then for 1 CP you immediately rapid ingress them back in.
Yep.
So yeah, that's an excellent point. So there's a lot of crazy maneuverability stuff in this. I think it's fine. I think it's, like you said, it's probably really good in teams. I don't think this is really good in singles. It's not upping the killing potential other than the one
Yeah.
strat for like crits on 5s, which is great, but strats can only be used once per phase, so
Yep.
I think that leaves Brotherhood Strike is the only one we haven't spoken about, and then we'll get into the data sheets. So, which we'll have to pile through kind of fast, but I have a tool just for that. Anyway, so the detachment rule is Fury of Titan. Each time you arrive from Deep Strike, you can reroll hits of 1 and wound rolls of 1 for the end of the turn. So you could come in, get that for shooting, make your charge, and get that in the fight phase as well. We'll swing into the enhancements. Tame?
Yeah. So Banishing Wave, Grand Amp model only. Each time you set up from Deep Strike, roll a d6 for each unit within 12 inches. On a 2 to 5, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 6, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Again, this one's fine. Cost dependent. If it's like 5-10 points, maybe you throw it on something. But I don't know. Drum roll, please. How much does that thing cost?
20 points. Yeah. It's an AoE smite that isn't going to do what you want it to do anyway. Like, even if you manage to deep strike in and hit 4 or 5 units and they're all Eldari with 1 wound, you know, you're going to kill like 5 to 6 models from 4 to 5 different units, and it's just kind of, unless they're all down under half strength anyway, I just don't see this doing anything super purposeful. Like, this kind of reminds me of that Warpbane task force. It's like, if you move towards my purifiers, I'll do like mortal wounds, and people will do that every time anyway because you can only do like 2 mortal wounds, and they lose 1 marine and they don't care. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a choice enhancement, especially for 20 points. Blinding Aura, Grey Knight's model. Each time you arrive from Deep Strike, there's a theme here. You can't be shot with Overwatch. Not horrible. Blinding Aura is 10 points. So, you know, Grandmaster Dread Knight with some like shooting on him, you know, can land, not be shot. Not bad. Not for 10 points, not bad. I wouldn't build a unit around having it, but like, I'll take it. All right, Purity of Purpose.
Reroll chart is coming out of Deep Strike. Not bad. It's how much is it? I guess it's one of those cost dependent. How much is it?
Purity of Purpose is 15.
I mean, it's not bad.
I wish they'd just taken Drago's ability and made it.
Yeah.
Like, make it an
This.
enhancement, so it's still only one unit. It's still only once per battle, but you get +3 to the charge at a deep strike. That would make a lot more sense than going from a 26% chance of making your to like just over 50, I think is what it is with a reroll on a 2d6 at a 9-inch. So like you don't build a list around this. You just don't. If it was the +3 inches at a deep strike once per battle and you had a reroll ready to go, that's like a 92% chance or something to make it, and you do build a unit around it.
Yeah, and I think it's like if you've got the 15 points or whatever, then sure, that's fine. But like,
I mean, I'd rather just get blinding aura probably and like go in 5 points down, you know?
Yeah, especially against something like 1,000 points or 1,000 suns. Like, yeah, reroll charges just staying it like ain't it for me. I've never been a. I really hope I make this 9-inch charge. So
yeah, and if you are like, it's bad.
God help you.
Yeah. Tome of Forbidden Ways.
Okay. Is this on me or?
Yeah, it's on you.
Okay, cool. I'll read it. I'll read the tome.
Wait, is it on
model
you?
only.
I think this one's on me, but whatever.
It's okay.
I'll do
it. I'll do it.
I believe in you, buddy. I believe in you.
Yeah, I can read. While the bear is on the battlefield or in strategic reserves, add 1 to the number of units from your army you can select with Gate of Infinity. Again, this one's pretty good, especially with the army rule. If you got 4 Dread Knights, that's 4 Dread Knights that are popping up, going places, doing things.
25 points. I mean, it is good. Like, this is actually pretty tricky because people will like come to the table with Grey Knights and they'll be like, I know you can up your downing 3 units, and you're like, but wait, I can up your downing 4 as long as this model is alive. And specifically that model too. So like its entire bodyguard unit can die, and as long as that model is alive. So I mean, is it 25 points good? Probably not. Is it like it's not the worst, right? All right, I'll take the lead on the stratagems because I just threw you under the bus. True Silver Channeling, this is 2 CP. It's one of the only 2 CP, actually, I think the only 2 CP stratagems in this book are both in this detachment. So bring your Grandmasters. Bring your Grandmaster Dread Knights. Anyway, 1 Grey Knight infantry unit in the fight phase that has not been selected to fight can get dev wounds. That's not bad, especially on a big brick of something. That's not bad.
You'll use this all the time on Drago's unit. That's my way of saying it's 2 CP. You'll never use it.
Also, Drago's not even in the game anymore.
Yep, exactly.
All right, I'll take the next one too because I threw you under the bus. Combat Manifestation. Win in your movement phase. It's 1 CP. 1 Grey Knights unit from your army that is arriving using Deep Strike. Again, we have that like Deep Strike thing. You can do a 3-inch Deep Strike. Now, big competitive caveat. It's a 3-inch for casuals. If you're using the tournament rules, this is a 6-inch Deep Strike. The tournament rules specifically state that you cannot come in ever any closer than 6. So this seems very good at first read. It's for competitive folks going to tournaments that it does not work the way that it reads. It is a 6-inch Deep Strike, which is still good, but you cannot charge. So thoughts, Tommy?
Yeah, it's 6-inch Deep Strike. It's good. It allows you to put Dread Knights in awkward locations.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I mean,
why are you laughing, brother?
I don't know, because it's late.
Okay.
Get loopy.
Purgation Pattern, you're up.
Yeah. Grey Knight's unit from your army that just arrived from Deep Strike. You get sus hits on your weapons. Really good. I see you using this on a Dread Knight, getting sustained hits on either the, you know, Melta or the
The
Psy
Psy
Cannon.
Cannon.
It's pretty good. So
Yep.
effectively +1 to hit. So
Not bad, not bad.
not bad.
Duty unending 1 CP in your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy within engagement range of one or more of your Green Eyes units has fallen back. You can target that Green Eyes unit that is not within engagement range and go back into strategic reserve. So this is specifically if you're engaged, they fall back, you can go back into strategic. This is bad mists. This is, I mean, it's better than no miss, but it's like, this is the least used version of miss. They have to use, like, they have to be engaging you with one unit. They have to fall back with that one unit. They have to end within, oh no, it's just fall back, but I thought it was end within 9, and then you can go back into reserve. So I mean, like,
Fog of Deimos.
yeah, Fog of Deimos. There you go.
I think this one's actually a little better than uh like than some of the interactions you can have with Mist, because if your opponent falls back with like a jetpack unit or something like that outside of 9, your unit's still there. And like this one, there's no real counterplay against it. Like,
Yeah.
did you fall back? Yes, I'm gone. Like, you
Yep.
can't do this cutesy thing where like you move all your stuff up while the thing's in engagement, and then the thing with it that's in engagement like zips out of there and you can't do anything about it. Like, this actually, like, your opponent has some hard choices there.
Yeah.
So it's I would say Miss is more powerful, but this one still has a decent amount of juice in the tank for competitive play because, again, it's still movement phase. You still can do, I go up into strategic reserves and then I rapid ingress back in somewhere else that's, painful for you. So,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, it's the end of your opponent's shooting phase, but or no,
Uh,
I'm sorry, I'm looking. I just glanced at the wrong one there. I'm sorry. It is your opponent's movement phase, so you could definitely do that like double combo. Yeah, I mean, I have had it happen where like I got tagged by a falcon once, and then he fell back, and he asked, he's like, "Well, what's miss actually say?" And I'm like, "Well, if you fall back within 9, I can go away." And he's like, "Well, cool, I moved 14 or whatever." I was like, "Oh, well, you didn't end within 9, so now I get to stand here like an idiot." So I guess that's true. Like with there being no stipulation for them ending within, it's just if they fall back at all, you can just go away. So Shining Veil in your opponent's shooting phase just after they have selected their targets, you gain stealth on one of your grenades units, so you get -1 to hit. Not bad. If you don't have smoke, this isn't bad. You can use this on a Land Raider, but I think most of the Land Raiders have smoke anyway. So
maybe you wanted to do smoke and give it stealth.
and Shining Veil, yeah.
Yeah.
Is stealth is just -1 to hit, right? Or is it also -1 AP? Or am I confusing that with 9th for a moment?
Smoke, you get cover.
Oh, smoke is only cover? I thought smoke was
No, smoke, you
-1 to
get
hit.
cover and you're -1 to hit.
Oh, okay, I see. Got it. All right. You want to do expeditious exit because this one is actually really cool.
Yeah,
This is actually
expeditious exit. End of your opponent's fight phase. 1 Grey Knight Psyker infantry unit. If you've got Deep Strike, you remove the model and put it in strategic reserves. So this one is in addition to those that would be removed in the Gate of Infinity rule. Because now the Gate of Infinity, the wording is at the end of your opponent's fight phase, not end of your opponent's turn. So kind of interesting. Yeah, so this allows you to get another guy into Deep Strike. So you could potentially, between that and the Tome of Forbidden Ways, be uppy downing, 5 units in a turn, which could be pretty good. So
the coolest part of Expeditious Exit, though, is in the designer's note, it specifically says, and allows you to remove a unit with an engagement range of 1 or more enemy units.
Yep.
So they tag something you really don't want to be tagged. You can, as long as it's a Grey Knight Psyker infantry unit, it can go back into strategic reserves if you have 2 CP. That's the other thing. It's 2 CP. So just to reiterate the detachments real quick, Tommy, how do you feel having read them all in detail now? You still feel the way you did when we came into this chat?
Yeah, I think so. I think the 2 for me that I would want to play competitively, I think, I think Brotherhood Strike also is up there as like a pretty good take all comers detachment because reroll hits and wounds of 1 on your Dread Knights that are zipping all around. I think that one actually could be a good one competitively. Banishers still, I think, is the one that will be the first one I take to an RTT because I want to jam purifiers out of a Rhino or out of a Razorback and have, full rerolls to wound purifiers that just
With +1 AP.
with +1 AP, advancing and charging. I still get that dopamine hit of like, oh yeah, I got sustained hits this turn. Let's go.
Let's go.
That one just seems awesome, and it has the original Mist of Deimos in it, which I think is, hard to understate how good that is in a combat-based army. So,
Well, it has the best part of Mist of Deimos, I guess. Mist of Deimos has been split into 3 different stratagems, I think.
No, it's the old Mist of Deimos.
Is it the whole old Mist of Deimos?
Yeah, you got to do the full move of 6.
Or you get to go into
or you got to go into strategic reserves.
Oh, okay. I thought they'd like given the movement to one detachment and the go back into strategic for 1, but
no, it's both.
Cool.
So,
all right. Well,
one thing that I wanted to point out that maybe I'm reading this wrong, but we don't have to put the guys back onto the board with Gate of Infinity like we do with Teleport Assault, right?
Correct.
So like the 3.
Yeah. Actually, let's talk about that real quick. Let me go back
to
that's
a
the
pretty
PDF.
huge change.
So let's go to the top. The army rule. So if your army faction is Grey Knights at the end of your opponent's fight phase, so that's a change. You can select a number of units listed below. It's 3 for Strike Force. That's what we assume that we're all playing. From your army that are on the battlefield, excluding units that are within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, provided every model in the unit has that ability. Once you've made those selections, you remove them from the battlefield and place them into strategic reserves. So that means that they are no longer in this nebulous, weird in-between place, and the wording that existed that said you must bring them down in the next movement phase no longer exists. So they just go into strategic reserves. So you can pull them up round 2 and drop them again round 4. Like you can hold on to them.
Yep. I think you're going to be spending rapid ingress every single turn with this change. And there's always, yeah. It's it's awesome.
It opens up some other movement play too, because it specifically says it's into strategic reserves. That means like you could walk them in on a board edge. You don't
Yep.
have to deep strike them. So like
Yep.
round 4, is it round 4 or 5? You can bring them into your enemy's deployment zone.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's a lot of
Round 3.
extra play that way where like you could always do that on round 2. You could go into the deployment zone, but you have to do it 9 inches away from all, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, it specifically says strategic reserve. This is how they should have written the rule in the first place. It would have gotten rid of a lot of that nebulous, like, well, am I on the board or not? Do I exist or not? Can I bring back a Terminator when I'm in the sky or not? You know?
It's kind of cool because like your initial front push with Terminators, like the infantry, let's say, took to an RTT a little while ago, like you can lose some Terminators early on, put them in the sky for a turn or two, and then rapid ingress them, and then they healed another Terminator on the next turn, and
That's
then
true,
you
yeah.
just jam them forward.
Yeah.
That's pretty pretty big. So don't Grey Knight players, don't overlook this one. This is a pretty big change that you'll be able to play around a bit. So
Yeah. Very cool. All right. It's getting a little late, but I did make a document that shows all of the changes to the data sheets. This only shows changes, which really helps narrow down our discussion a bit, but I want to go through this quickly. So remember, if it's not listed here, if you don't see a profile, if you don't see a data sheet, if you don't see an ability, that's because it did not change. So we're going to start with characters. Castle and Crow. A link to this document, by the way, is in the description down below. I stuck it in my Discord and the Grey Knights Discord as well. So cool thing about Castle and Crow, his useless ability of reducing damage to 0 is gone. Now he just rerolls the hit roll into any character unit. That's great. His previous ability sucked because it only mattered if he was by himself. And you never brought Crow by himself. You always brought him with other purifiers. So his bodyguard unit had to die completely first before you could use Foresight of the Prognosticars. Never came up. This new one is better because while he's leading a unit, he can use it. So it's better. I don't think Crow is listed as 90 points still. I think you guys can actually see that now. Yeah, there we go. All right. Grandmaster Voldus also got a glow up. He was 6 wounds. Now he's 7, so he has as many wounds as Drago did. He used to only have a storm bolter. Now he has searing purity, which is a range 12, D3 plus 1, hits on 2, strength 12, AP 2 damage, devastating wounds gun. He still has Hammer of Flame. It hasn't changed. So he still has in his engagement range mortal wound thing as well. But now he has a new gun. And if I remember right, he went up in price. Volus is now 110. So he got better. He got a little tougher. He got a cool gun. And he went up. Librarians, they lost Purge Soul. They gained Vortex of Doom as a shooting attack. They obviously lost Vortex as an ability. Vortex is now a range 18 attack D6 plus 3 blast, hitting on 3s, strength 8, minus 2 D2. This is pretty spicy, right?
yeah, I think it's a bit of a glow up on the gun. You'll miss your Vortex of Doom.
I won't.
But
I won't miss blowing myself up. I'm sorry. That was like, sometimes they went ape shit and you felt like a god, and most of the time they just killed themselves. Or a buddy.
That happened to me when I was at WCW. I was playing from behind. I was like, all right, I need my librarian to kind of pop off. He's going to be doing the action in the middle to get me some points, but he can action and do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he rolls a 1 and blows himself up, and then I fail the action and have a dead secondary, and it's like,
yeah,
sick.
I had that happen against a fan of the channel, Zach, playing his orcs at an RTT round 1. I had 2 of my librarians kill themselves in the same round. And Zach was very happy. And I was very distraught. So anyway, it's a gun now, which does mean he can't action and shoot it. It's a pretty spicy gun though, because D6 plus 3 into like a 5-man is actually D6 plus 4. You know, like you can get a lot of hits with this thing pretty quick, especially in like if you're in Warping Task Force, you're rerolling all your hits. Like it's pretty good. The other thing is, so because they lost Vortex, they now gained Halo in Soulfire, which is lone op within 18, and the gravy is that they are listed at 80 points right now. 8-0. So will that survive the Codex point Manufactorum drop? I don't know. But right now they are 80 points with a baller gun, and they give you a lone op.
They give you a 4-up feel no pain against psychic attacks.
They still give the 4-up feel no pain against,
which is
like, yep. If it's not in this document, they still have it.
Yeah. If you ever want to see like a Thousand Suns player just kind of melt away, like I had a librarian tank an entire, like in a librarian squad, just tank Magnus for 2 turns, and it was just a 5-man.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Also, in the mirror, if you have librarians and they don't, you win. It becomes the most uphill, horrible battle you'll ever play as a Grey Knights player if you don't have librarians and your opponent does and they're playing Grey Knights. Brotherhood Captain, still 90 points, got a glow up. He lost his old Sustained 1 ability and instead gained lethal hits. He also gained his Focus Mind ability, it changed its name, which was each time the model makes an attack with a psychic weapon, you may reroll the wound roll. Now it is each time he makes an attack, you may reroll the wound roll. So you can give him in Incinerator now, he's automatically hitting, he rerolls all his wounds, he goes into combat the same round, he's still rerolling all his wounds with his Nemesis force weapon. So he got a glow up, he's still 90 points. He's very good. I think you've heard Tommy and I mention how good they are in every detachment. Grandmaster is basically Space Marine Captain now. He gets the once per game +3 attack, +3 strength, and then he gets to reduce this CP cost of a stratagem by 1 for his unit once per battle round. I know that'll be huge for people to see. It's no longer once per battle, it's once per battle round. Just a Space Marine Captain in shiny armor. Obviously lost ignore mods, but he seems honestly just way better now. So also got a glow up. Brotherhood of Champions just different now. He lost fights first. He gained advance and charge. And then now when he destroys an enemy character in combat in the fight phase specifically, he just gives you 1 CP, and then you get to add 1 to the attacks of his weapon for the rest of the battle. So neat. He can kind of like get stronger. So he's just different now. Advance and charge, as we all know, is very good. He can't attach to interceptors, of course. And even if he could, he would just slow them down horrifically. We really need an interceptor leader, man.
Give us Hyperion, man.
Yeah.
Just let me have it.
He did not gain Scout, so if you still attach him to a strike squad, they lose Scout. I was sad to see that, or I was hoping he'd gain an ability that's like, if he's attached to a unit with Scout, treat him as if he had the Scout keyword, but he, whatever.
I wish
we didn't get that.
I wish they'd given him the ability to attach to purifiers.
Yes,
That
also
would be
that.
good.
Oh my god, that would
Yeah.
be so fucking great. Brotherhood Champion is the first barf of the data slates. He lost his +1 to wound. Now you can unbattle shock a unit within 12 that is battle shock, and then he gets to reroll charge rolls. Words of Power, the adding 1 to the wound, is really the only reason you ever saw him in the very few lists you ever even saw a chaplain in. Obviously I'm not the best player on the planet, but I don't think that you're gonna see chaplains in anything, and they are at 75 points, so it's the same price. So I don't see you actually like bringing these guys.
Initially, like I thought this guy would have some play in the melee detachment, but it just I don't
Yeah.
care about reroll charges realistically. So
Yeah. Just yeah. The Brotherhood Tech Marine, they basically gave it the stat line of the Primaris Tech Marine, really. The movement went up. He lost some, like his old flamer. He gained a forge bolter. Lost his old bolt gun and bolt pistol choice and gained the grav pistol. He lost the plasma cutter. They put this guy through the ringer. So he's a little better at range. He's a lot worse at melee. Some of this stuff is just rewording of the same abilities. So he still gets to add +1 to hit. He still gets to heal. He still gets his lone op thing. But they slightly tweaked the wording. So when I stuck this through Claude AI, it still like picked it up. The big thing is they gained Guardians of the Machine, which means each time an enemy unit ends a charge within engagement range of one or more Grey Knight vehicle units from your army within 6 inches of this model, you can target this model's unit, and you can attach them to strike squads and purgation squads with heroic intervention for 0 CP, and you can do it even if another unit has used that same stratagem that phase. It's a little cheeky. I still don't think Tech Marines are good enough that you're gonna have them leading Strike Marines and Purgation Marines. But like it's a little cheeky and it's kind of funny if you're in a Santic Spearhead and you really want to get like your Tech Marine on an objective for some extra OC or something. But I don't really see this being used much. Oh, and now he can also attach to a Purifier Squad. Weird.
he got it, but the Brotherhood Champion didn't.
Yeah.
Wild.
He can also attach to Purgation Squads now. He used to only be able to attach to Servitors, which are gone, and Strike Squads. Okay, whatever. Paladins got a huge buff. They lost their toughness increase now. When they charge, they're +1 damage. So they are D3 damage on the charge. The composition also changed, so now you can take them starting at 3. Well, 4 plus 3 guys. So you can take one less dude, slap, and have a few more points to slap in like a leader. And another big thing is they gained the Narthesium, so they can now bring back a model every command phase, just like Terminators could. That's pretty big, and this is pretty big. So +1 damage on the charge, bring back models. Considering they went up in points, they went from like 43 to 48 points a model. Bringing back a 48-point model every turn is pretty good. That can equate to hundreds of points over the course of a game based on how many squads that you have. Strike squads didn't change. They slightly reworded Sanctifying Ritual to make it make more sense for the whole level of control thing, but otherwise they still have sticky. Same thing with personal teleporters. They removed the wording in your movement phase to stop people from getting confused with the out of phase stratagems and stuff. So that's all gone. Brotherhood Terminators, they lost lethal hits on the charge. Now, anytime they fight at all, if it's not into a monster or vehicle, they get +1 AP. So they now have AP3 Nemesis Force weapons against anything that isn't a monster or vehicle.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a like. Initially, I was like, oh, sick, extra AP. But like AP2 is already killing most of the things that they were gonna be going
Yep.
into anyways.
Yeah.
I like lethals more.
I do too.
So
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if they wanted to do anything, if they got rid of like lethals and gave him Lance on the charge, I would have been totally cool with that. Or I mean,
yeah.
or just give them Lance, I mean, because it's only on the charge. But if they wanted to give us more AP, the fact that it's excluding monsters and vehicles seems a little bizarre to me, because that's what you want the extra AP into a lot of the time. Like going into those Lehman Russes, going into those Chimeras, you know, you want that extra AP. They also changed how many you can take, so you can now take them down to units of 4 and slap in a character if you're like low on points. And then you can put them in various other, so I think it's 4, 5, 8, and 10 now, but don't quote me on that specifically. But there are now breakpoints. Actually, I can pull up the points and let you know. So yeah, Terminators are 4, 5, 8, and 10. So there you go. They changed the Narthesium wording just slightly. It works the same way. But a big thing is they changed the back of the data sheet to make it very clear that you can actually take 2 special weapons per 5-man now. So if you bring a 4-man and not a 5, you're actually only able to bring 1 special weapon. But if you bring a 5-man, you can bring 2. So that's cool. It makes it very obvious now when you read the back. Purifier's probably got the biggest glow up in the whole goddamn Codex. They lost their whole, if you're below starting strength, you get 1 to hit. If you're below half strength, you get 1 to wound. Now, each time they make an attack, they always reroll the wound roll of 1. Just always. And if the target is within range of an objective, they are just rerolling the wound. All the time. Shooting, fighting, doesn't matter. It just is an attack. Purifying Flame got buffed. It is now ignores cover AP2. So that got better. Just Purifiers got buffed. Just take Purifiers. They're nuts. I don't think, at least in the book, that they went up. Yep, they're the exact same price. We'll see what they are in the MFM, but like as they stand like right now, they are money. They are very good. Purgation squads got nerfed, especially because they're still the exact same price of 125. They no longer have astral aim, which no one used anyway. Now they give you -2 to move and -2 to charge if you get hit by them, which isn't the worst thing, but we're already strapped for points. This isn't like a Agant squad you can throw in your army for like 45 points when you have some stuff like left over, and get a cool like ability. So, oh, and it excludes monsters and vehicles, which I think all of these do in the game, but they are subtract 2 from their move and subtract 2 to charges. So I heard some folks say that it's really good into like Votan, the Berserks. Like, okay, I don't think I'll bring a 125 point unit for like a couple matchups, but we'll see. Maybe I'm a big dummy. Vendread got kind of a glow up. What is its price? It is 140, still pretty expensive for like what it does. It can move 8 now instead of 6, which when I saw the AI say that this was a difference, I didn't believe it. I went and looked it up, and it is in fact 6 right now. Now it can move 8. He no longer has a reroll bubble. It's when he shoots a thing, everybody gets +1 to hit against that thing for the rest of the phase. He's 140 points. He's still really easy to kill. Also, he gained the character keyword. So he gives up Assassinate now. He's already easy to kill. He can't attach to anything. He doesn't get blown up. Now he also gives up Assassinate. And
keyword, though.
Yeah. And they removed Armored Feet. They removed Multi-Melta, and they removed the missile launcher from his ranged. So now it's just Assault Cannon, Heavy Plasma, Twin Las, and the Storm Bolter can be replaced with the Flamer. That's it. So, I think the Vendread still is pretty bad. Grandmaster Nemesis Dread Knight. So he's the one that got the upgrade sprue that includes the new weapons. All the new melee weapons are garbage. The nipple guns or the nipple missiles are literally just a frag storm cannon. So like it's fine. It's extra firepower. I'll take it, but it's not like amazing. You do get them for free, so fine. Frag Storm is the normal one. The Sublimator is range 18, attack 2, hitting on 3, strength 9, AP 4, D6 damage, Melta 4, Psychic Twin Linked. 2 shots really makes this feel pretty bad. Unless you're in Warpbane Task Force where you're probably going to hit that second. Or you get +1 to hit somehow. Like, I just don't... Like, the 2 attacks feels... Or if you can, like, give it sustained 1 through one of the detachment abilities, I just don't... The Sublimator feels not great, personally. But also at the same time, like, your Grandmaster wants to get into melee with every monster and vehicle on the planet, and it's going to be within 18 inches, so you might as well give it the anti-vehicle and monster gun. What do you think, Tommy?
It's fine. I wish it was like strength 10, or like it had the same. It was like a demon spear, like it was strength 12. That feels better than this.
Mm.
Strength 9 is just like, this is just a multi-melta with the psychic keyword.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fine.
That's it. Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's free, so like try it out. Maybe it, you know.
I mean,
try
is it the Grandmaster's like 30 or 20 points more than the regular Nemesis?
Well, I mean, all the weapons are free, so you know.
I know, but like,
yeah. I see what you mean. Like, would you rather give up advance and fall back and shoot and charge, or, you know, bring a fancy multi-melta?
With nipple rockets.
Let's see. I think this listed Dread Fist as being gone as wrong, but it doesn't matter. No one takes the fists. The flail and mace are very bad. Like comically bad. The flail has the strike, has the profile the sword sweep should be. At attack 10, hitting on 2, strength 5, AP 1, D2 psychic. So that's great for killing light and medium infantry, which we already do by the droves anyway. The Nemesis Mace is 5 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 6, 3 AP, D3, anti-character 2+ precision. So there's already some meme discussions about bringing maces. I don't think those are serious. I think they're meme. People are going to bring the hammer. It's 5 attacks, strength 12, hitting on 3s, you know, -3, D6 +1. He still has his ability to, once per battle round, he can reduce stratagem cost by 1. It lost the caveat that it could only be used once per round, regardless of how many Grandmasters you have. So that's cool. That's a buff. So you can get all your Grandmasters in on their targets that they want on one round, and they can all save. Well, I guess they can't. It's still the same wording for the ability, right? So they can only use it once.
Yeah.
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 So they just removed the wording from that. So yeah, nothing changed there. Nemesis Dread Knight still has fallback, shoot, charge, advance, shoot, charge. They just renamed it from Empiric Reprisal to Indomitable Spirit. Woo! Razorback used to units leaving it after it shot something. Units disembarking used to reroll the wound roll. Now units disembarking after it shoots something get to improve their AP by 1. The same enemy can only be affected by this ability once a turn. I'm glad that they put that in there so you don't see folks with like -4 AP Stormbolters or something. One thing I found interesting is they removed the assault cannon option, so you can only bring twin heavy bolters or twin lasses now. You can't bring assault cannons.
Interesting.
I don't understand that. Maybe they wanted, like, I know some people were bringing assault cannons to make sure that they hit stuff because it was, you know, 6 shots instead of 3
also like
or
what's
2
in the plastic
or 1.
It's
Sorry.
like, yeah, it's also like what's in the kit, right? Like if you wanted
Oh,
to do
that might be true. Yeah.
if you wanted to do the assault cannons, I think you had to get like forge rolled bits.
Yeah.
To do that. So
that's probably the best thing. Yeah, I didn't think of that at all. You're probably right. That's probably exactly what it is. Rhino, old was it would regain 1 lost wound in the command phase. Okay. I don't even think people remembered to use that. And then the new one is, well, friendly Grey Knights units are wholly within 6 inches of this unit. They have a 6-up feel no pain against mortal wounds. Which is not worth the amount of time they used to type that out. Wholly within 6, and it's a 6-up feel no pain, specifically against mortal wounds. I mean, I know they don't want to stack a whole bunch of defensive buffs on, like, on a really cheap transport, but this just feels strange. I don't get it.
yeah, I mean, you look at this one and compare it to like the Thousand Suns Rhino, where things getting out of it get like +1 to hit and +1 to wound with psychic weapons, and it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, for the same price of like
For the same price,
like 75 points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Storm Talon gunship is the only aircraft that changed. It went from T8 to T9.
Sick.
I don't know why. Maybe that matches other Storm Talons. I honestly don't know. I've never even seen a Grey Knight Storm Talon model in person. Silencers, you mentioned this earlier. They gained the precision keyword. When I heard this rumor, I was like, that's bizarre, and I did not believe it. Because that just seems really weird.
I don't think you're gonna take them still. Like, I think today I was talking with someone and I was like, oh yeah, that sucks that silencers went down to strength 5, and they're like, well, from strength 6, and they're like, well, they've always been strength 5, and I'm like, that should tell you how little I've looked at that,
Yeah.
that data sheet,
Yeah.
and I don't expect that to change. So
yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they were strength 6, I think, or they are strength 6 on the Dread Knight.
the big one, if the big
Or
one
are they
had
strength 5? I don't
it's
remember.
strength 6. It's strength 6 on the
Okay.
NDK.
Okay, that's why, and that's the only time, and I only bring that in Warpbane Task Force because you get to reroll all your hits. So you shoot 12 times and you hit 12 times on average.
Good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And that's it. The rest of this is just kind of laying out all the new profiles we haven't seen before. But yeah, that's it. That's all of the changes to the data sheets. So a lot of them are middling or strange, like the tech marine, and then some are amazing, like the paladins and the purifiers. I don't think You're gonna see most lists that don't bring some purifiers and or some paladins. They got arguably the biggest glow up.
I think a lot of it depends on points, but if
Yes.
points are right on those two data sheets, then you know we're gaming.
Yeah.
So.
Boldest kept the -1 to hit. I know I said if it's not in the document, it didn't change, but I wanted to point that out for why he's 110 points now, which is nearing Drago's cost. And Drago was a can opener. um, so yeah, you'll notice no servitors, no Drago, no Stern, no Land Raider Banisher on our points list. So those are the data sheets we lost. Yeah. Well, I mean, overall, man, how you feeling? Like about the Codex?
I like it. I'm intrigued. I think this is outside of some of the rules. I think I'm I'm interested to crack open the Codex and see some of the lore and art in there because it seems like
Oh, for sure.
in,
Yeah.
in some of the more recent codexes, like even the Chaos Knight one is actually there's some interesting lore and photos and kind of cool stuff in it. But
I want
for a
to know
rule
where
set,
Drago went,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
gotta explain it.
that's gonna be in there.
Yeah.
So who is the new Grandmaster of the demon hunting order? But no, I think there's interesting ways to play. I think it breathes some new life into um, the data sheets in like in a interesting way. There's a few different ways to play. There isn't like a um, you know, I still think Nemesis like Nemesis Dread Knights are still going to be some of the best units we can
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think that this has changed that. I think that's a bit of a miss on the Codex. But I do think some of the infantry base builds that I've been experimenting with seem like they still like they would be viable with this new Codex. Um, Still struggles into big vehicles, and losing Vortex of Doom doesn't really change that. If not, makes it worse. But you know, it's not a problem. Granites have been solved before, so I'm interested to get it on the table.
Well, a lot of the higher toughness problem will probably go away soon if other rumors are true that, um, Games Workshop isn't blind to the meta, to the fact that like it's DG and Knights just all the way down.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so
My last four games at
supposedly, yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's a robot meta out there. Uh,
Your
Hopefully they
last four
hot fix
games,
that.
what?
Oh yeah, no, my last four games at Tacoma were it was Death Guard, Imperial Knights, uh, or no, yeah, it was Death Guard, Imperial Knights, Death Guard.
Yep. Yeah.
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 So
So I mean it's rough, but if they get taken down a couple of pegs, you know, we won't struggle as hard into those matchups. Into Death Guard, the new purifiers are gonna be great. Like
real good.
just with Crow in them, they're gonna be rerolling wounds. They're gonna be sticking those Death Shroud, like they're gonna be wounding them on twos because they're anti-infantry 2+. They're gonna be sticking them right on their invul, no more, no less. I don't care if you're in cover or not. You're on your invul. It's I don't care that you're T7 or T1700. Like I'm wounding you on a 2+. Yeah, so we're gonna have some more tools into some of those stronger units, I think. And things like being able to bring leaders that actually have lethal hits and just gain you lethal hits all the time. Like that's huge. Not having to rely on a big long bomb try to go charge with 10 Terminators to try to like take down a big knight. Will be nice. So
flat 3 damage on in like lethal hits is gonna be a
wild.
heck of a drug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with any kind of rerolls.
Yeah, I've got some Space Marine captains from the Leviathan box on sprue right now that I'm going to start putting together because between Grandmasters and you know, brother captains, there's some good reasons to bring them, and the ability to drop your paladins or terminators down to like 3 or 4 opens up the ability to have that, you know, you have a similar amount of attacks as like the open squad, but you now have it, you know, for 20-30 points extra per model compared to the 40 points per model for like a Terminator. You now have you have lethal hits, or you have a character that you can add to the mix. So
yeah, and a 4-man. No, it's every 5-man. Okay, yeah. So any number of paladins, as long as one of them is an ancient, can have a special weapon. But it does say for every 5 models, up to 2 can replace. So if you want all the heavy weapons, you got to bring at least 5 paladins, and then you have 3 out of 5 with special weapons in it, which is pretty neat. And then if you throw in a Brocap, he probably has the exact same type of heavy weapon. You know, side cannon, silencers, incinerators, like whatever you want. So it'll be interesting. I'm still not convinced that any of the detachments. I'm sure we're going to see a huge influx of the Santic Spearhead. Lots of people playing with Banishers, I think, but I think at the 6 months from now, I think everybody who's hitting the competitive meta will probably be still rolling Warpbane, assuming no changes happen to Warpbane. Obviously, that's a big caveat, because just especially now, if you keep stacking like lethals on stuff, you want those rerolls, man. Full rerolls with lethals into like a knight or something with damage 3 is just. Or your purifiers now, now they're rerolling all hits, and if their target is standing on objective, you don't even have to spend the 1 CP to like give them full rerolls to wound. You know, that's I think Warpbane might be the juice.
yeah, my head says you're right, but my heart.
Oh no, I agree.
My heart lives in Advance in Charge.
Bring more Brotherhood champions, man. You get the Advance in Charge all the time. Yeah. Anyway, it's late, man. I haven't seen any movement in chat for a bit. It's been 2.5 hours. People are probably tired of me and you droning on. So I'm gonna go ahead and close things up. Thank you everybody for joining us. It's been a wild 48 hours in the world of Grey Knights. Here on Saturday, the NDA should lift. The pre-orders will go live, so call your local game store if you want a Codex. And you should start seeing these big content creators dropping the replays of their battle reports that they've probably had on ice for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So we're going to see a lot of Grey Knight content in the next little bit. Probably a lot of Grey Knights versus Black Templar stuff going on, so that they're playing both of the new codices. Anyway, thank you again. Links below in the doobly-doo for Grey Knights Discord, Deathwatch Discord, and mine. Mine's kind of small, but I think we're pretty cool, so swing by and check us out if you want. And with that said, don't forget to call your parents.